Down there is the Italian capital of coffee, home of University of Coffee and beautiful historical cafes. Here they also have the largest sailing regatta in the world and the largest sea-facing square in Europe. This is Trieste, the most cosmopolitan city in Italy. Before the First World War, this was the most important seaport of the Austrian Empire, but now it is often overlooked as an Italian hidden gem. Hi guys, my name is Rok and I spent last 9 years traveling around Europe as a tour guide, and I can't wait to show you things to do in Trieste, Italy. From the top of this mountain, you will get the best view over the entire Gulf of Trieste. This hill rises 300 meters or 1,000 feet above the city of Trieste and the Adriatic Sea. From here, you will get a better understanding why throughout history different nations were drawn to this city. As I'll show you later, Romans were the first to leave an important mark in Trieste. After the fall of the Romans, Trieste changed many hands until in the 1300s it became part of Habsburg rule. Trieste remained part of the Austrian Empire until the end of the First World War. In more than 500 years of Austrian rule, Trieste developed into the most important seaport, trading port and shipbuilding center in this part of Europe. In the 18th century, Trieste was declared a free port for coffee imports, and that triggered the development of thriving modern coffee industry. After the collapse of the Austrian Empire at the end of the First World War, multicultural and multinational Trieste became part of Italy. During the dark moments of the Second World War, the idea for a temple on the top of this mountain was born. At the end of the war, Trieste was threatened with destruction, and the Archbishop of Trieste made a vow to Mary in order to save the city. As Trieste was saved, the Archbishop promoted the construction of this temple as a sign of gratitude. This is how this very unusual Roman Catholic church was built in the 1960s, as a symbol of peace and unity of all people. As the church can be seen from a distance and due to its unusual design, the temple has quickly become the landmark of Trieste. This is Pilgrim's Church, dedicated to the Holy Mary, as its triangular structure evokes the letter M as a symbol of the Holy Mary. Due to its shape, the church is also called Formaggino, meaning the cheese triangle. Right under the temple of Monte Grisa runs this beautiful road that offers great panoramic views of the city and the Gulf of Trieste. The road is carved on the slope of the mountain and stretches for about 5 kilometers or 3.1 miles, and the round trip is about 8 kilometers. It is known as Napoleonic Trail as it was built by Napoleon troops. Mostly gravel path, is close to traffic and is a popular place for a stroll or a run. It's also suitable for bicycles and families with young children and pushchairs. Part of the trail that runs through a rocky area is wider and covered with asphalt. With several vertical walls, this part of the trail has become a popular destination for free climbers. The trail can be reached by car, bus numbers 2 and 4, and by distinctive local tram. That stone pier right opposite to the main square extends about 250 meters out to the sea and is a very popular place for a stroll. It was built in 1700s on a wreck of a ship that sank in the harbor. Many passenger ships and freighters used to dock at this pier, and goods, merchants and passengers poured into Trieste from all over the world. Nowadays, boats dock here only during Barcolana regatta, as otherwise the pier serves as a stone-paved promenade offering great coastal scenery of Trieste. The pier was renamed after destroyer Audace, the first Italian ship to dock at the port of Trieste in 1918 when the city became part of Italy. This canal was one of the nerve centers of Trieste commercial hub, as it enabled ships to arrive in the heart of the city to unload their cargo. Banks of the canal are lined with beautiful buildings built by the merchants who made the city great. Here is also a beautiful square with fountain, And from the middle of the square, a bridge known as Ponte Rosso or Red Bridge crosses the canal. On the bridge stands a bronze, life-size statue of Irish writer James Joyce that lived and worked in Trieste for 15 years. Joyce once wrote that his heart is in Trieste, and this quote is written under his statue. Joyce was just one of many artists, writers and poets that were drawn to this cosmopolitan and prosperous city at the turn of the 20th century. Trieste experienced dark moments during the Second World War. It started already in the 1938 with Italian fascist leader Mussolini having a speech in Trieste on Main Square where he declared racial laws. But things got even worse when Nazis took over Trieste. They turned this 19th century rice processing factory into a concentration camp equipped with a crematorium. It was used for eliminating hostages, partisans, Italian, Slovene and Croatian political prisoners and Jews. In 1965, the rice mill was designated a national monument, and since then it serves as a memorial park. The visit is free of charge. This Roman theater is one of the most striking remains of ancient Roman town. The theater was built in the 1st century at the foot of San Giusto hill and could accommodate up to 3,500 spectators. The theater was unearthed in 1938 during the demolition of buildings which have been erected on the top of this theater. Theater is located on Via del Teatro Romano Street and there is no admission to see it. This is an active lighthouse serving the Gulf of Trieste. With its height of 68 meters or 223 feet, it is one of the tallest lighthouses in the world. It was built in the 1920s to also serve as a memorial to the sailors who lost their lives during the World War I. It was built on the foundations of the former Austrian fort. Dome is housing the Lateran with an average range of 30 miles, and on the top is a copper statue of Winged Victory. As this is still an active lighthouse, it is controlled by the military. But the lighthouse can be visited from Friday to Sunday and there is no admission, but between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. the lighthouse is closed. This long waterfront promenade known as Barcola Beach serves as the main recreational area and the main bathing beach of Trieste. Beautiful wide promenade runs along a park full of trees providing nice shade, kids playgrounds, showers and small bars offering refreshment. In the summertime, the promenade will be full of beach towels and from time to time you will see steps running into the sea. Due to its position, this beach is naturally protected from the strong Bora wind. This promenade is a popular meeting place and offers nice long walks all year round. Barcola is also the birthplace of the largest sailing race in the world, the Barcolana Regatta. This hill in the city center is the birthplace of Trieste. It was named after a patron saint, San Giusto, that was a citizen of Roman Trieste and sentenced to death by drowning in the 3rd century. This cathedral is dedicated to him and served as the main church in the city. It was built in the 14th century by joining together two older churches. That is why on the inside you can admire mosaics from as early as 12th century. Entrance to the cathedral is free of charge, but donations are appreciated. If you wish to climb to the bell tower, the admission is €1.5. Next to the cathedral are the remains of Roman Forum, main square of ancient Roman Trieste. Next to the church and the Forum is a castle built by Austrians in 1300s after gaining Trieste. The build took almost 200 years and was completed in 1600s as the entire old town was protected by the city walls. As this was a military building on the top of the hill built to control the city, it doesn't have any glamour, but its ramparts and bastions offer a great panorama of the city. The fort also serves as a venue for different events and as a museum with different collections and armory, offering a better understanding of Trieste and its history. Admission for San Giusto Castle is €5. This amazing white marble castle on a sheer rock is commanding the Gulf of Trieste. It was built by Archduke Maximilian of Habsburg and his wife Charlotte of Belgium as a family home in 1860. Unfortunately, they were not able to enjoy it much. After only 4 years, they went to Mexico as Maximilian was crowned as an Emperor of Mexico. Maximilian's Mexican rule abruptly ended after 3 years as he was executed by a firing squad. Charlotte returned to Miramare, but after suffering a nervous breakdown, she was taken back to Belgium. Miramare became the occasional residence of the Habsburg family until the First World War. When Trieste became part of Italy, the castle became state property and was turned into a museum where you can still admire its original luxurious interior. Miramare also has a beautiful and spacious park. Large quantities of soil were imported from Austria to turn this rocky karstland into a lush green park. Maximilian loved this park so much that even after moving to Mexico, he sent back numerous species of trees to be planted here. Miramare can be visited every day from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Admission to the park is free, while the castle ticket is €10. This is the largest sea-facing square in Europe and the heart of Trieste. The impressive scale of this square shows the importance and the glory of the city. The square is surrounded by Vienna-style palaces. When you see this square, it becomes clear how important and powerful Trieste was. This is a huge living room of the city, dominated by a massive city hall with a clock tower that is facing the sea. In the city hall, you can also find a useful tourist information office. In front of the city hall is a fountain with 4 statues representing 4 continents. You see, the fountain was built in 1750 and there were only 4 known continents as Australia was discovered a bit later. Next to the fountain is a column with a statue of Charles VI of Habsburg. He was the one that declared Trieste a free coffee port and thus turned it into a prosperous city. Trieste is also home of 2 famous European coffee brands, interestingly, both founded by non-Italians. In 1892, Hermann Hausbrand, captain of the Austrian merchant navy, started a business of roasting and selling coffee in Trieste. A few decades later, in 1933, Hungarian Ferenc Illy founded his coffee business. Illy invented the first automatic coffee machine and developed a packaging system where coffee-filled cans were pressurized with nitrogen to prevent oxidation. Illy still has its headquarters and factory in Trieste. Illy also founded University of Coffee, dedicated to promoting and spreading the culture of high-quality coffee. Trieste is much more than just the biggest port in Adriatic. It's a beautiful old city where every corner offers rich history, a cosmopolitan experience, and first-class coffee. Obviously, Trieste is not a top destination like Rome or Venice, and probably wouldn't fly around the world just to see it. But if you end up using Trieste Airport for cheap flights around Europe, you should take the time to visit Trieste. Airport and the city center are connected by bus number 51. Also, if you are in the area, Trieste should be on your shortlist as it's only 2-hour train ride away from Venice. By the way, you can check my video Things to Do in Venice in the top corner. If you like this video, please give it thumbs up. You can share your questions, suggestions or experience about Trieste in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe and hit notification bell to be notified about my future travel videos. Thanks for watching and see you next time.